because I do 1,300 crunches and sit-ups 4 times a week.
What's a dose? Can you translate for us?
Winner of the gold medal and the champion golfer of the year is Ernie Els.
Welcome, everybody, back to the Goat Track, the podcast about golf and golf-adjacent stuff, mainly from Africa, and we again today are adjacent. It is me, Tucky, and it is my esteemed colleague in rugby and golf, Hoff. We are here to talk about the events of Saturday evening at Ellis Park, but also to look forward to hopefully what is to come in Cape Town at the DHL Stadium. It is rugby's greatest rivalry tour. The Springboks were taught a lesson on Saturday. It must be said. I don't know whether it was arrogance. I don't know whether it was them being undercooked. I'm not sure what it is, but we'll hopefully get to the bottom of it in the next 30 minutes or so. Hoff, how are you? How are you feeling after Saturday? Just talk me through all of your emotions.
Hello, Tucky. It's good to be in a 2-ball. It's probably going to take someone that played 5th team rugby to work out what happened on Saturday. Let's be honest, we know more than everyone else out there. Always makes me laugh, but tough sporting weekend for me, Tucky, personally. Being a Liverpool fan, wasn't as bad, I guess. If I was a Man United fan, to be honest, it got that last minute penalty, but tough weekend. Saturday was, I don't really know how to describe it, excruciating. It was a tough watch. It was a real tough watch.
Do you know what I found? I felt like we had taken like 10 steps back into the days when the All Blacks would beat us and we would know we were going to get beaten. It felt like they put us under pressure. We had no answers. They did their things at the breakdown that we knew that they were going to do. They did their things at the mall that we knew that they were going to do. They got under our skins. They frustrated us. They did all of those good Kiwi things, and we just didn't have an answer.
Yeah. I think a lot of that is true. It was a bit of a, for me, it was a bit of a complicated watch because we were so physically dominant. We sat at the end of that first half. We destroyed their scrum. We generally are stronger than them in the scrum, but to see an All Black scrum sort of disintegrating like that as often as it did, Ethan de Groot, when he came off, he looked like he had been hit by a 10-ton truck like 10 times over. Yeah. He looked destroyed. A lot of them looked destroyed at the end of the first half. But look, at the end of the day, you have to give them credit. They hung in there. They survived. And then they do what they have always done best. If you don't take your chances against them, they punish you, and they punished us.
Yeah, 3 second half tries.
Yeah, 5 tries to 1 is a tough scene. The scoreline was horrible, but the game wasn't that scoreline. I think the last 10 minutes you can basically write off. We basically just gave up. But it was a tough test match, but I really thought that we were going to pump them at one stage, and then we just couldn't get over the line. And I think there were a couple of key moments that went their way, and that was it. Yeah. After that, we pretty much folded.
What do you think about us not taking penalties early on?
Look, that's basically what we've done so far this season. If we get a pen in the 22, we go to the corner, or we go to the scrum, and we convert it. The problem is, on this occasion, we didn't convert it. And it from that perspective, it was quite painful to watch, especially considering how easy their entries ended in points. And when I say points, I mean tries. They had a scrum, Xavier straight off the back. whip it to the wing,
Yeah.
try time. Whereas like we would absolutely decimate their scrum, and then they found a way to stop us. And to be honest, after the scrum, it didn't really look like we were going to score. Yes, we were camped there. Yes, we were putting pressure on them, but it's not like we were held up or anything like that. Yes, the Malcolm Marx, incident was one of the 3 turning points for me. But a lot of head scratching, and then once it turned, you could just see. I mean, that scrum penalty to them was probably the critical turning moment.
Definitely. It's unbelievable because let's look at the stats here. So handling errors, 11 from us, 10 from them. It felt like
way more from us.
Meters gained, 341 for us, 255 for them. We had one more clean line break than them. They made 129 tackles to our 89 tackles. We did miss more tackles than them, which is actually, if you think about it, it's quite an indictment. So we made 89 tackles, but we also missed 25 tackles.
Yeah.
They made 129 tackles and missed 21 tackles. Missing 25 tackles against the All Blacks, it's going to put you under a lot of pressure.
They're going to punish you.
Mauls, okay. Then obviously the 2 yellow cards. And we conceded less penalties than they did.
Yeah.
So do you think that it is a case, the case can be made that we were pretty severely undercooked?
I think so. I mean, we were definitely, we weren't sharp. That's for sure. I mean, there was that constant ball out sort of the back, scrum off to Ibn Etzbeth round the back to meant to be Sasha. And that ball was constantly being missed. And we were constantly having to track back to receive that. And then we're under pressure. I mean, they were pretty exceptional at the breakdown, in terms of just getting their hands on the ball, slowing it down, turning it over. And you could see that sharpness wasn't quite there. It has to be said. I mean, Sasha, I love Sasha, and he's always dangerous, but it just didn't look like it was happening. I mean, apart from Andre the Giant, sort of crushing through and scoring that try, I don't really have many memories of our backs. It was Damien Deolindi's 100th test. Like, barely remember him with the ball
I
in
think
his
Jesse
hands.
Krill, the first time he got the ball was in about the 25th minute.
100%. And look, I felt sorry for him because he was obviously being moved out to wing and all of that kind of stuff. But I mean, that's also a risk of playing the bench that we do play. But I suppose we've got to say that we were undercooked. We have to, because we were rusty. And that handling error stat is quite something for me because it felt like we made so many handling errors. And I think maybe it's because as the game wore on, we kind of made more. And we made them in critical areas.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That is that like it felt like our handling errors were far more significant than theirs.
Yeah,
and I think it is a credit to the way that the All Blacks have always been able to manage a game.
Yeah,
that risks are taken in the right part of the field. Also, it must be said, skill levels their skill level under pressure is always top notch. They have also all played 3 games of rugby or 2 games of rugby at least in the lead up to Saturday. And do you think that there was any chance, I was just thinking about it right now, any chance of the Boks maybe getting a run out in some way, shape or form against, I don't know, if Zim were available or someone was available, just to get like a hit out?
Sharpness, yeah.
Because, now you've gone into the first test, but I guess it happens in a Lions series at the end of the day. The Lions usually have 2 or 3 warm-up games before that first test. But it just felt like we were just off the boil.
Yeah, and I think the scary thing for me was if you look at the test matches that we've played so far this year, like for the most part, we've been off the boil. I've never seen so many handling errors against Wales at Kings Park. Yes, that was our C team. Everyone's talking about humidity of Durban. And every game there was kind of excuses. Argentina, it was complete like slugfest, arm wrestle. Maybe the best we played was against England. And even England came back at us at one stage. Scotland, I mean, we basically had massive holes in our defense. So we haven't been that sharp this season. And, chatting to other guys were kind of like, yeah, I agree, but it's the All Blacks. So we're going to come out and that edge is going to it's going to disappear and we're going to be sharp again. And we just weren't, that's the bottom line. But again, I think like 33-16 is a drubbing. We can't get away from that.
Yeah.
But if you look at how the game like presented itself and how it unfolded, like a couple of those moments go our way. Malcolm Marx goes over. It's a different game, Grant Williams doesn't get the charge down. It's a different game. Like we were massively, massively dominant.
Yeah.
Even though we weren't sharp, we still had the opportunities to punish them, and we didn't. We didn't convert that physical dominance into points.
So, what do you reckon if we look at, like, I'm one now, I do not put blame on referees, on officiating. I try and avoid that as much as humanly possible because they are just human beings. They're just doing their job. And we can't always be the people that say, it was the ref's fault. The ref did this. What do you rate Matthew Carley? How do you think he performed?
I hate Matthew Carley. I think he's a terrible ref. But I don't think the ref or the refereeing had anything to do with that result on Saturday. Let's be honest. I think overall, did they get more of the rub of the green? Probably. I think some of the critical decisions went their way. But only just. I'm not saying it in a way that they turned the game. I think that he was fine. I mean, I don't like him particularly as a ref, but I think he was fine on Saturday. We lost that game not because of him.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no doubt about that. I think there were a couple of instances where he called us out for things that he didn't call them out for, and that's where I think the rub went a little bit their way, but minor. Like, if we were sitting here blaming the ref, I've seen a lot of clips of guys, saying Fabian Holland wasn't behind Will Jordan at that ruck when he charged it down, but if you look at another angle, like, there was a big gap between Will Jordan and
he wasn't even close to the ruck.
Like, I'm like, I don't even want to go to the refereeing sort of debate because I don't think it really applies in this game. I think it was down to us, actually. It's less a case of them winning the game and more a case of we lost the game because we didn't take those opportunities.
Yeah.
And they were unbelievable at taking their opportunities. I mean, they basically went in that first half. They were in our 22, twice? And they scored 2 tries. And that's the All Blacks. That's what you've got to guard against.
But do you not think it's also a case, like, we've just got our defense for some reason has just not been the same.
It's porous.
This season, it just has not been the same. I don't know whether the tactics, are we trying to change the system or what the story is, but our defense has not been the same this year.
Yeah. I mean, the Scotland game certainly showed that. I mean, by the end, it was like pretty much every time Scotland ran at us, they got through us. Yeah. And we managed to scramble. And that scramble got us over the line in that game. But you can only do that so often against the All Blacks. They're going to punish you. And look, I was pretty stoked with our defence to start with, apart from those 2 tries, to be honest. I mean, the one try was a questionable forward pass. I don't think it was. But they got in behind with some good skill and they finished it off. But there were moments, especially at the end, where we needed to be in their half. We were chasing the game, and they just managed to skip a tackle, pop pass, and boom, they were through. And you're just thinking, oh, Christ, here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
They're going to just punish us, and they did. They punished us. I mean,
that's always the thing, is you always feel like there are 2 or 3 All Blacks supporters on shoulders every single time they get through a gap.
Yeah,
but like, I know, when you're chasing a game and fatigue is set in, these Oaks haven't played, well, some of them haven't played a test match in a couple of weeks, and you're playing against an All Black side that's on the front foot, then you're asking for trouble. And you know that you're going to be put under pressure. And we just didn't have the answers. For some reason, on defense, we just didn't have the answers.
I think also, I don't know how good we are at chasing games. That's because we're not really in that position that often, which I suppose is a compliment in a way. But I mean, the last game that I think we kind of chased and came from nowhere to win was that semi-final against England, which, was a pretty shitty game, to be honest. But, I mean, as soon as we went behind against the Wallabies at Ellis Park last year, we completely just crumbled.
Yeah.
And it was a similar feeling on Saturday. once we started chasing that game and getting desperate, we made more errors. We dropped the ball more, and suddenly the holes were appearing once they had the ball, and we were under the pump. And I suppose the shit thing is that the 70th minute ticked over, and you knew we were toast.
Yeah.
It was, it just got worse and worse. And then the yellow cards came, and it was just like, oh my God.
Fuck, it was a cut last 10 minutes when you just knew that there was no chance we were coming back.
Yeah.
And like, you always believe that there's a chance. But that last 10 minutes, I checked out. I was like, okay. At least a 4-test series. It's a 4-test series.
It's a 4-test. We've always said that. I mean,
from the beginning, we've been
quite unequivocal about that.
The fact
4-test series. The last one is not an exhibition.
The fact that Baltimore is an important test match in this series. We're taking rugby to the US, so that means that it's a crucial test match. But I think that's enough on focusing on what has gone, and let's focus on what is to come. Obviously, Rassie just went back to his ways. I don't know whether it was a superstition thing. I don't know whether it had anything to do with how the All Blacks lined up tonight, Tuesday night, when they play against the Lions. I'm pretty sure that side was majority selected. But I believe that the reason why Rassie has announced his team yesterday was to take the heat off looking back on Saturday.
Yeah.
So he's gone, let me get the team out, then we can focus on who's playing this week.
100%.
Forget about what happened. Let's focus on what's to come.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the manner in which we lost on Saturday has had everyone talking. It's obviously going to put them under pressure. Let's hope they respond in the right way. That's the looking forward. And I mean, it's a similar team. I think there's only a couple of changes. The one that's unenforced, I think, is at 10. And then Ethan Hooker, of course, comes in because Cheslin Colby's out. Massive loss as well, Cheslin Colby. Apart from that, I think it's just waiting on Sia.
And I'll tell you now, Cobus Reinach in for Grant Williams, Andre Pollard in for Sasha Feinberg and Ngomazulu.
Yes.
Ethan Hooker in for Cheslin Colby. And then it's the Sia Kolisi / Paul de Villiers in the number 6 jersey.
Yeah.
And yeah, look, that tight 5 I thought that started were really good. They were sharp, by and large. And I think they'll only get better. I think that they'll be far better this weekend than they were on Saturday.
Yeah, look, having Ox there, that man is insane.
You would not have thought that he hadn't played a test match.
No, he's insane. I mean, he should have won World Player of the Year the other year. He should have been the first prop to do it. The Oak doesn't go backwards.
Never.
I mean, you look at the way he looks, I think it's physically impossible for him to go backwards. But he is unreal. He really is. And I agree with you. I think, you look at where we put them under pressure. That first half, we dominated them. We should have come out not 13-12 up. It should have been like 20-12 or 23-12 or something like that. So, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like
100%.
We've still got a strong forward pack that absolutely demolished them for a lot of the game. I think the interesting one is at 10, bringing Andre in. Does that mean maybe more of a kicking game? I mean, we already kick a lot, of course. But, Sasha's got a little bit more of a magic running game than Andre.
Can I tell you something? You say that. This is interesting. So, okay, I'm on the SuperSport stats page here. And it says on Saturday, kicks from hand, the All Blacks kicked it more than we did. We kicked it 17 times. They kicked it 19 times.
Which is actually, if that's the stat, which I'm not disputing, if that's the stat, they actually kicked a hell of a lot more than us because we had more of the ball.
Yeah.
So if you look at like the percentage of kicking toward, to having had the ball, that is very interesting. The other thing, just on that point, is there's been a lot made from the New Zealand media and podcasts and that about us slowing the game down. And to be honest, like most of the stoppages, especially in the first half, were them.
All Blacks.
Because they were getting decimated.
They're just getting absolutely thundered.
I don't know where that's come from. But yeah, Yeah, Handre's an interesting one. Let's be honest. I mean, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Springbok 10s in the history of our game. So, you never know with Rassie. Was this like pre-planned that Handre was always going to play the second test? Or was this like oh shit, we need to firm up. We need someone that can make some hits on defense. Someone with a very, very accurate kicking game.
Yeah.
Ches and Colby's out, which means, kicking for poles as well. We need someone that we can rely on. I don't know. You never know with Rassie.
I believe, I think he had teams for every situation. Whether we got beaten by 40 points, whether we lost by 1 point, whether this happened, whether we won. I think that he had a team that he had planned for every single scenario. And I think that
I would tend to agree.
But
with that.
I also do believe that the Handre Pollard selection could have potentially, they probably might have gone with Sasha if Ches and Colby was fit for the second test.
Yeah.
But now,
of the boot.
with Chesn out, I think they need a more reliable goal kicker. But I also don't see why Sasha can't kick.
Yeah. And we got Damian Willemse as well, who seems to be shying away from the kicking tee.
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything Cheslin can't do?
Yeah, it's wild to see him.
It's insane.
I thought there was just like a once-off the other when he kicked for post, and now he was bloody doing it against the All Blacks. But
I think Luke Jacobson is still going now to his left, trying to tackle Cheslin Colby. I think if you went to Ellis Park, you would still be going in that direction. Yes. I mean, that man is sensational.
Did not even lay a hand on him. Didn't even get close.
Had no clue. Absolutely no clue.
But I'm excited to see how Ethan Hooker goes this
100%.
Because he, touch wood, I don't believe, has never had a bad game in a Springbok jersey.
Yeah. Look, he obviously we Sharks fans, so it's nice to see him in there. He's a local boy as well. But, I mean, he's had a really good rise. And, I mean, when did he play last? Did he play against England? He played in one of those test matches. But, I mean, what I remember is that performance that he put in against the All Blacks in Wellington, where he was just ghosting through things, And he's one of those guys that he looks like he's slower than what he actually is.
So deceptive, yeah.
And strong.
Yeah.
He's properly strong.
No, he's a unit.
So I'm stoked to see him. Obviously, you're missing Cheslin Colby. He's like bloody world class, but I think Ethan Hooker is pretty world class as well.
So we've got Peter Steph du Toit's down to captain the side in his 100th test match. Rassie hasn't said anything about Sia captaining if he plays. So I think that Peter Steph du Toit will captain the side.
Okay.
I thought he had one of his poorer games
Peter Steph
in the Springbok jersey on Saturday.
Yeah, look, it's difficult to say with him.
For someone who is so incredibly good, like his I
think his
floor,
base level,
his floor is so incredibly high that like if he slips off a few tackles, you notice it.
Yeah.
And like I felt that he was maybe just like.
Look, he also it was you don't really see him chopped when he's got ball in hand. He got chopped, I think, once or twice. But I'd probably agree with you, but only because that base level is so high.
Oh yeah, his cut game is anyone.
Other people's
99% of rugby players.
I mean,
Storm.
If anyone should feel disappointed from Saturday, it's Jasper Wiese. He had oh my goodness, he was insane. He was absolutely insane. His carrying ability.
He has got to be I would say the best number 8 in the world.
I mean, surely.
Is that hyperbole?
I mean, let's think about the number 8s that are.
Okay,
on the world.
Ardie Savea is obviously your automatic competition.
Yeah, but
always.
Very different kind of 8, I guess. A different kind of player, Savea. Who else is there?
Harry Wilson from Oz. Who've England got besides Ben Earl and Henry Pollock?
No.
France, they've got Aldreet.
He's pretty good, but he hasn't been at that level for a while. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'd say between the two of them, between the All Black, between Ardie and Jasper. But he was insane on Saturday.
So
he was. I mean, he must be sitting there going, cheap as Ike's. I basically put my body through.
What else do I need to do?
17 car crashes, and you guys dropped the ball over the line.
What do I need to do? What I need to do to get us over the line? The other interesting selection, it has to be Dion Fourie, 39 years old, going to be the oldest Springbok ever.
Surely that game that he played for the Stormers against the All Blacks got him that selection.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, he was insane.
Wild.
He was insane.
But he just proved that like he can still go.
Yeah.
39 years old, starting on the bench. Like, it's wild. So my brother always talks about how at Stellenbosch, one of his best mates was like his roommate in Alderberg. And he's turning 40 this year. And the Soak's still playing
Still playing for the Springboks. No, it's pretty crazy. If your brother tackled him, then it means he's better than him.
I doubt my brother would ever lay a hand on Dion Fourie. But like, looking at the bench, Thomas du Toit comes in, which I think's
Needed.
a great call.
Yeah.
Lut, Andre Esthuizen, Cameron Hannekom, which I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see how he goes in a big test.
Yeah, the eight thing is an interesting one because I really like Cameron Hannekom, which is surprising because he plays for the Bulls. But he's a proper player. Like, he is a proper player. But it's so difficult. Like, anyone that's played in Jasper's place has battled. Not battled. They haven't had bad games. It's just Jasper's carrying is so effective and so important that someone else has to be so far ahead of their level to get up there. So, but I like Cameron Hannekom, I really do, and I hope that, I mean, he's not the slowest. He's big, he's strong. I'm hoping that when he comes on, everyone else around him will be a bit tired, like the All Blacks, and that he can exploit that. But he's a cool signing. He's it's good to have him on the bench. The one that's sort of for me bench selection is at scrum half.
Krappies.
Yeah, that one I'm not so sure about, to be honest.
Morne van den Berg getting the shout on the bench at 9. Maybe Cobus Reinach's going to go the full 80.
Yeah, one would.
I think that's probably the way they're going to go. Well, I think he's going to have to go the full 80 anyway, because I think if there's I guess Sasha can play on the wing, or Damien Willemse can play on the wing, Jesse Krill can play on the wing.
I suppose Cobus could probably play on the wing as well.
Yeah,
not ideally, but he could. I mean, he's not slow.
But it's going to be interesting to see, because like, it's a proper bomb squad here.
Yeah,
Look,
I mean, the strength of our bomb squad was kind of negated by injuries in that first test, which is the risk you take. That's unfortunately the risk you take with that kind of split. But I mean, again, I got to look at the positives from the first test. Difficult to see them because of the manner in which we lost, but we were physically much better than them. We were really good in the air, really, really good in the air. You struggle to see that that's not going to change, because you bring Ethan Hooker in, who's really good in the air. Damien Willemse had a good game in the air.
He had a flippin' stormer in the air.
Yeah, so hopefully we can dominate them, because, I mean, I think when we lost in Mbombela, we lost the aerial battle that day. And sometimes you can. It's like 50-50. But, I mean, that's where we got to target them. Bash them, beat them in the air, convert your chances.
And that's it. We've got to make sure that we are converting our chances, because we know the All Blacks. We know how unbelievably good they are at converting their chances. Doesn't matter who they're playing against. Like, and that's a fascinating thing about the All Blacks, is that like that DNA that they've got just runs so deep that they can convert their chances. Do you think from a skill level, was it sort of even Stevens in that first test? Do you think, that how they've been preaching that they are...
I suppose stats would say it is. It didn't feel
skillfully
that way.
Superior,
It didn't feel that way. I mean, the way Ardy whipped that ball over the top and they can see space and execute it, that I think it was the second try they scored was Vai that made a good pass. But maybe we give them too much credit for that. I mean, I think we've improved under Rassie's watch and particularly Tony Brown's watch. So I think we're up there. I mean, Sasha's a generational talent who's right up their skill level. But they seem to be, to a man, their skills are insane. Yeah. Like, even their forwards. And on top of that, you've got a guy like Ruben Love who's not going to miss too many kicks. Yeah, he might miss the occasional kick from the corner, but he's not going to miss too many.
The way that he kicked here in Durban in the wet was unreal.
It was actually
and apparently they're expecting a bit of weather down in Cape Town this weekend.
Okay.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about...
Take them into the trenches.
Yeah. Just beat the shit.
Take them to the gutter.
Beat the shit out of them. So the one thing I heard Rassie say in his press conference when he announced the side was about the influence of Siya Kolisi and how important
breakdown, yeah.
he is in the attacking breakdown.
Yes.
And obviously that is where a large area that we came short in on Saturday was securing our own ball at the breakdown.
Yeah.
So like it's one of those things that like as a sort of layman you just watch and you don't really take notice of. But it'll be interesting to see if he does start
If it's a better area.
Mobile he is as well.
Yeah, because in hindsight, once he says that, you could see like the breakdown was at times a free for all. But at the same time, you got to feel for Paul de Villiers. I mean, he had a brilliant game in terms of slowing their ball down and getting
so
in there
good
and
as
disrupting it and all of that. He made some good hits. So yeah, but you said it, I think, in the last pod. Like having Sia there's just something different about it. You know, Sia at franchise level and Sia at Springbok level it's like two different humans.
Two completely different players.
And he's going to be pretty fired up if he does play on Saturday. He's going to be super fired up to be like, look, we hurt you.
Yeah.
And we're going to come out all guns blazing. So let's hope we do that, and let's hope we convert into points.
Yeah, like, okay, just quickly, it is not raining in Cape Town on Saturday night. So whoever told me that was a liar.
Campy.
And I'm actually, I think you want another spectacle. I don't think you want anything. You don't want it to be a bloody mud fest, slug fest in the trenches. You want to see both sides
Having a go.
But I think that might revert back to type just to grind out a win. You know, get ourselves back into the series because shit, you 2-0 down with 2 to play.
2-0 down, you're toast.
You're in big trouble.
Yeah.
The next thing I want to ask you, we are going back. Do we stop playing the All Blacks at Ellis Park?
Yo, Tucky, I think we're probably going to have our heads taken for some of these takes. But look, I mean, the Ellis Park, it's supposed to be the spiritual home of Springbok rugby, and there's been some amazing things that have happened there. But is it our Eden Park currently, and has it been for a while? You've got to say no.
No.
Our record is slowly getting shitter and shitter.
We've lost 2 of our last 3 test matches there.
Well, and badly, you know.
Yeah.
Well, we played England there and we won.
Yeah, so we lost to Australia.
But Australia.
In
yeah.
that,
And we got smoked in both
horrendous.
Those games. And both those games, we kind of went from sheer dominance to getting absolutely pumped.
Yeah.
The Australian one was even worse because it's Australia and they shit.
And they came back. That was 20 points.
Yeah, exactly. So the England game, even like we also came out the gate, physically battered them, and then allowed them back in. And that seems to be the Ellis Park trend. And I'm like, look, it's in a crap area. It's difficult to get there. Once you're in the stadium, amazing.
Yeah, but good luck getting home.
But come, guys, let's maybe if we're talking about doing things at altitude and that, there's a stadium with a lot of people that are very upset, and that it's called Loftus, that the All Blacks are scared of as well. You know, their record there, I'm not so sure. I know we got absolutely pulverized there a decade or so
To
ago.
be fair, I think they've given us a hiding at every stadium in this country.
That's also true, you know. I think but that is something that you have to respect to the All Blacks. Like, those Oaks go into every game with, like, we can win this.
Oh, yeah.
And we probably will win this kind of... Maybe not as much in the last 2, 3, 4 years.
I think
because
Dave
of
Rennie's
us,
changed that.
But they travel well. They always compete. You know, we're probably the only 2 nations that can say that across the board. You know,
Yeah.
yes, Ireland have been better in the last few years, but they were dog shit 10, 20 years ago. But they, as you say, they're always dangerous, but it's becoming like a little bit of a hoodoo now, Ellis Park. You know, it's gone from like, we'll beat anyone there to, shit, how do we win?
Just because we won a World Cup there.
Exactly.
And that's where all the money is.
Well,
That's
look,
why they wanna
I'm
take
sure
us
Joel
back there.
Stransky would love it if we put a statue of him in the middle of the thing, put a little fence around it, and then you don't play there anymore, you know?
Let's just make it a shrine to Joel Stransky, Ellis Park. But I think that we could go to Loftus. I think we should play them at Loftus more often.
Yeah.
And in Mbombela, because those people are also crazy.
Oh, that would be my go-to. I know it's a smaller stadium, but that place is that's a vibe.
Rocking.
That is an absolute vibe.
I've never
And
been there.
I know that they beat us, But, well, I've never been there either.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people that went to that game and had amazing things to say about it. And it looks insane. And we lost to the All Blacks there. I don't know how we lost that test match as well. But I would say that would be a great one to go to. Obviously, we would love them to come to Durban, but we don't have a great record here.
No. I think we avoid that. We can take them to Woodburn. We'll play them in Maritzburg under the lights. Or we'll play them in Bloemfontein. They've never beaten us in Maritzburg.
They've never beaten us in Maritzburg. That's true. We're unbeaten there. And I think Ruben Love would probably miss a lot of kicks because he's not used to American football-style posts.
I love those things. I was there on Friday night for the Sharks game. I forgot about the posts. Oh, they're brilliant. They are so brilliant. Okay, Hoff, let's finish off here. I just want to get, where do you think we need to improve on Saturday? And what do you think the score is going to be?
I think we just need to be more accurate. That's pretty much it. Carry on bashing them, carry on kicking it up and catching it in the air. Just need to convert our chances. If we get the chance with the maul to score, we got to score.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to just be a take the points kind of team suddenly. That will be interesting to see. I don't think so. But I think if the test match played out exactly as the first test did, but we were more accurate, we win that test match. That's not to say that they're not going to improve either. But if we physically destroy them and we take advantage of that physical dominance, we should win the test match.
There are going to be some very, very, very sore carcasses in that 100%. All Black squad this week. And they're going to be even more sore next week. So I think that if we just give them an absolute hiding again up front.
Yeah. Scrum dominance.
And this was the thing is I said last week, if we can stay in it for 60 minutes, then I think we're going to have too much. That didn't work.
Yeah.
But I still believe that is what needs to happen. Because I think if we in the game and we ride with them until 60 minutes, I think we'll have too much in the tank.
I think if we have scoreboard pressure on them and force them to sort of deviate from their game plan rather than us deviating from our game plan, obviously they get super dangerous in those areas as well when it becomes loose. But if we can get some scoreboard pressure on them, I think that will be massive with 15 minutes to play. They can turn over any score. Yeah. We know that. But we have to, it has to be carbon copy, but with more sharpness.
Yeah.
That's what it has to be. We have to convert. Malcolm Marx has to go over, he has to secure that ball. Kicking, you're always at risk, with charge downs and that. But if you're more accurate, you can avoid that. And hopefully, the sort of critical moments, the game-changing moments, because they're small moments, but they're important moments. Hopefully those go our way.
Yeah.
I mean, none of them went our way. All of them went their way, which they are also responsible for that. I mean, you've got to give that to them. But I'm nervous as hell. I was nervous for that test match and anxious, but this just blows it out the water because you go 2-0 down.
You can only draw the series.
Yeah.
Because of that beautiful fourth test match.
Yeah.
In Baltimore.
Which we've always said is important.
That everyone's looking forward to.
Yeah.
We cannot wait for that fourth test in Baltimore. But hopefully, by the time we get to Baltimore, the Boks are 2-1 up in the series and the All Blacks have got it all to play for. So, Hoff, accuracy, number one. Yeah. That's it. Is that it?
Accuracy and sharpness. Keep the ball better. Be better at the breakdown. And do everything else as you did. Pump them in the scrum, physically dismantle them, run Jasper at them all day long. When Jasper's tired, run Peter Steff at them all day long. And then bring Andre the Giant on and let him run at them as well. That's kind of where it's going. It sounds like he's probably going to come on as a flank anyway. But hopefully that, and obviously defensively we need to close off those holes. But hopefully we hold on to the ball and our best form of defense is possession. So Yeah, I'm nervous as hell though, Tucky. I am nervous as hell.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do think we'll be better. I do think we'll be more accurate. Had another week together. Had another week of prep. We'll have a better idea of what to expect from Dave Rennie's All Blacks team.
That's it, yeah.
And yeah, I think we'll be a different side. If Sia plays, I think we'll be a very different side, very different prospect. And hopefully, the Bokke can get the job done.
They definitely can.
Yeah.
Like, they definitely can. Let's hope it's another Wellington, but in our favour.
Yeah.
Where we take every opportunity that's presented to us.
Yeah. So don't forget, that wasn't that long ago either. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Like people have got very short memories. We gave them an absolute hiding in Wellington, and that was the test before this last one. So let's hope that the Springboks can turn things around. I'm sure they will. 5:10 down at the DHL Stadium on Saturday. It's going to be epic. Hoff, thanks for joining me.
Oh, thanks for having me, Tucky. It was great, and hopefully we can do this again, and we can talk about how we dismantled the All Blacks this time.
Record win. Cheers.
Lekker.